Hi, Pre-K 2. I'm so happy to be with you again today. We're going to do a fun little science lesson this week, learning about classifying animals. So, classifying means separating things into groups, and within those groups, they have things that are similar or the same. Okay? So, scientists and zookeepers and vets, they take animals and they put them in all these different sorts of groups to classify them. We're going to learn about 5 different groups that we can classify animals into, okay? There are lots of different types of animals in the world. This week we're going to talk about mammals, fish, reptile, birds, and amphibians. Have you heard any of these words before? We've definitely heard fish before and bird before. The words mammal and reptile and amphibian, they might be some new words for us. Okay, so let me repeat them again. Mammal, fish, reptile, bird, amphibian. That's a really hard one to say. Can you try to say that one out loud? Amphibian. Perfect. Kind of a silly word. Now, each one of these groups has characteristics that put the animals into the group. So later on, we're going to pick an animal, and then we're going to try to figure out which group it would go in, kind of like sorting the animals, okay? So let's go through the different groups. The first one is mammal. Here's some things about mammals. Mammals give birth to live babies. So mammals, they don't lay eggs, they don't sit in a nest, okay? The mommies carry the babies, and then the babies are born, okay? Mammals have fur or hair. Mammals are warm-blooded. I bet not many of you know what warm-blooded is. You might. Do any of you know? Animals can be either warm-blooded or cold-blooded. Mammals are warm-blooded, which means their temperature stays pretty much the same within their body all the time. Okay? Our temperature stays at like 98.6 degrees. Okay, that's pretty normal. Sometimes when we get sick, it goes up. Okay, but our temperature, we're able to kind of regulate it and keep it at that, right around that number. Some animals are not, but mammals, humans are mammals, we are warm-blooded. Okay, and the last thing is that mammal mommies, they feed their babies. Okay, so pretty simple. They have live babies, they have hair or fur, they're warm-blooded, and the mommies feed the babies. Can you think of a mammal besides a human? Do any of you have a type of mammal living in your house? A dog, a cat, a rabbit? Let me know. Okay, the next group is fish. This is a pretty easy one. A lot of us know what would make a fish, but let's go over it. Fish breathe under the water using gills. Can humans breathe underwater? Can dogs breathe underwater? No. Fish have special gills or flaps on the side, okay, that allows them to breathe. Fish live in water. They have scales and fins, and they lay lots of eggs, okay? Now, fish are also cold-blooded, the opposite of warm-blooded, okay? Fish change their temperature depending on where they are in the water, okay? If the water is warm, then the fish's temperature is warm. If the water is cold, then the fish is cold, okay? Sometimes in the winter, the fish swim really down deep into the pond or the lake, and that is because the water is warmer down there, okay? And they go down there to get warm, and the mud is kind of warm, so they'll go down there to get warm, okay? So that's fish. The next one is reptile, okay? This is one of my favorite groups of animals. I like reptiles. Reptiles have scales. They do not have fur. They have dry skin. They lay eggs, and they're cold-blooded. So they have some similarities to the fish. They have scales, they lay eggs, and they're cold-blooded, okay? Reptiles, they live sometimes near the water maybe, but they don't live in the water like fish, okay? The next group is birds, my least favorite. We all know that. Birds have feathers and wings. They have beaks. They lay eggs. They have 2 legs. They're warm-blooded. And they have ear holes instead of an ear. See how we have ears that stick out, or your dog might have ears that stick up? Birds have just little holes that they use for their ears, okay? The last one is amphibian, another one of my favorites. Amphibians have webbed feet, which means they kind of have like skin or flaps in between their fingers and their toes. Does anyone know why an amphibian would need to have webbed feet? You're right, because they can swim in the water. It makes them really good swimmers, okay? Just like Mr. Dave and Miss Dee Dee teach us in the summer, we cup our hands together, okay, to scoop the water. So amphibians have little flaps in here so that they're able to scoop the water when they're swimming, okay? Amphibians have moist or wet skin. They also lay eggs. They are cold-blooded, and they live on land and in the water, which is really cool, okay? So those are our 5 different groups. Let's go back and let's think of an example of each of these groups. Now, a mammal. Let's see. It has fur or hair, warm-blooded. Can you think of one? Great job. You think about it and then you have to test it out. My example for a mammal would be a bunny. Let's check it. Do bunnies have fur? Yes, they do. Do bunny mommies feed their babies? They do. So bunnies are mammals. Can you think of an example of a fish? It has to breathe underwater, live in water. I thought of a clownfish. Pretty silly looking fish, but it is still a fish. Can you think of an example of a reptile? I'm thinking of a lizard. I love lizards. How about a bird? There's lots of different types of birds. Robin, cardinal, eagle, hawk, heron. We have the herons at work at Windmill. Geese. All right, we have the geese at Windmill. Those are birds. How about an amphibian? Can you think of an animal with webbed feet and moist skin, and an animal that can live in and out of the water? A frog is a popular one. Or a salamander. Salamanders are pretty cool too, okay? So these are our 5 different groups. On this post on our Google Classroom, I'm going to include a sheet where you can print out lots of pictures of animals. What I want you to do is I want you to cut them out and I want you to sort them in their groups. That's one activity you can do. Another activity you can do with this lesson is you can make a little book, okay? You could have 5 sheets of paper, or you could cut your paper in half, staple it together, and draw a picture of an example of each of these types of animals, okay? So those are 2 activities you can do. You can cut out the pictures that I'm going to attach, or you could draw your own pictures, whatever you'd like to do, okay? On Thursday, I'm gonna post another video, and we're gonna kind of compare and contrast some of these groups, see what they have that's the same, and see what they have that's different, okay? Have fun being a zookeeper today, and organizing and classifying, big new word, classifying these animals into their groups. Mammal, fish, reptile, bird, amphibian. If you do make a little book with drawings of your favorite animals, I'd love for you to post it and tell me what groups they belong in, okay? I will see you guys back on Thursday to do some comparing and contrasting and to check back in, okay? Have a great day, guys. Bye.